boys, another little video for you. Decided to build another audio amplifier, one that's a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more powerful than just the plain 2N3904 audio amplifier that I got built here. This one works fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It works great for powering up your headphones or using it as a pre-driver to drive that other audio amplifier that I got, that black box jobby. But I wanted to build one that could actually replace this one and be just as powerful as the black box audio amplifier I have with a little voltmeter in front of it that you've seen. And this is the circuit here that I was messing around with. And with this one, I'm using different transistors than what the circuit originally called for. There I'm using a 2N3904, I'm using another 2N3904, and the output transistor here, which is the main audio output, is a 2N3442. And me buddy Pedro over in Portugal, Pedro, this is actually one of the transistors that you gave me a while ago. I finally started this is actually the first one I used of those transistors that you gave me last year, and the 2N3442 was one of them, and I'm actually using this one in the new circuit. It drives an 8 ohm 4 watt speaker. It could actually, I'm sure 4 watts, it can be a lot more. I'd almost put a 10 watt speaker there, because this circuit is extremely loud. Louder than I actually thought it would be. So you need a 1 ohm variable resistor here, a couple of electrolytic capacitors. It needs 1, 2, 3, 4, it needs 5 resistors, and of course your speaker. So it's not a whole lot of parts. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 parts. So that's not too bad for an audio amplifier for sure. And anyway, I'll show you the audio amp. I got a little small little case, little Christmas cookie case, whatever you want to call it there. And I built the audio amplifier inside of this. So I got my 1 meg variable there, power switch. I got a bunch of input outputs, whatever. I got DC input, audio input. This one's not used for anything right now. I'm thinking about probably using this one as an audio output, so in and out. And I've got the 2N3442 mounted on the back. That was fun trying to mount that, let me tell you. I've also got the speaker mounted to the top of the case. 4 big bolts holding her down. And the speaker, well, it's that loud that I had to use rubber gaskets, rubber grommets, under the screws, between the screws, or say between the cover and the speakers, and the speaker. The thing would actually rattle like you wouldn't believe. So I've got the output transistor here, the two 2N3904 transistors here, and of course the variable. So there's not a whole lot in there. Not a whole lot in there to say the least, but it mightn't be a lot of parts, but it packs quite a punch. That I can tell you. That is extremely loud. So we're going to put the audio amplifier on this here receiver that I done my last video. It's based kind of off of Sputnik receiver that Cyprian is building over in Romania. I decided to go all out and make this one extremely big. The last couple of receivers, I made them like compact. I decided I want to spread this one out for a change. I want something big and bulky that I could actually play with, mess around with, chain circuitry, do whatever I want with it. So I got the main tuning capacitor is a 365 picofarad 2 gang variable from an old tube radio. I got an 8 ohm speaker right here ready to go, not hooked up. That's the drive coil, antenna coil here. Fine tuning here. We've got antenna, input, audio output, voltage input, ground. Then of course we got the string drive, and that was fun in itself trying to get that to work. It actually took me 5 hours to figure out how to string this thing to get this slider here to go back and forth and to get it to just to work right. It's just 5 hours. It was crazy. And the string I ended up using for it, went on the Home Hardware and bought some fly rod line, nylon braided line. So yeah, a rice fishing line, whatever you want to call the stuff. But that's all the line I think I'm going to need for a while for sure. But it's nylon braid. Good stuff. But I've also got other strings from other radios and stuff that I've stripped apart. I had one coil made, which was this one here for this receiver, and it actually tuned from 900 to roughly 2200 kilohertz. So that's a difference in coils, in turns. So yeah, quite a bit. So I'm still messing around with the turns and the coils. This is the second coil now I've made for this thing. So yeah, there we have it. And of course the front of the unit, we had the volume on and off. It will be a volume control once it gets the speaker hooked up here. It'll be a volume control and speaker, or volume and on off. Then we got the regenerative control over here, main tuning here, and of course tuning indicator from 0 to 5. That's after an old Heathkit transceiver that a buddy of mine gave me a bunch of parts for, and that was included with it. So I said, what the hell? Included in the little receiver here. So anyways, let's get this hooked up to this and see what it sounds like. Alright, so this is the audio amplifier, the receiver. You'll notice that I do not have the 2N3904 audio amplifier hooked up at this time. Right now the audio is coming directly from this circuit, from this radio, and dumped directly into this audio amplifier, going out through this speaker. The power for the amplifier runs on roughly about 8 volts, 7 to 8 volts DC, and it's drawn close I'd say to about 500 milliamp, maybe a bit more on full volume. I never put an ammeter in line to figure it out, but I tried using a 9 volt battery. A 9 volt battery will work, but not the hottest, put it that way, not the greatest. I would highly suggest you run this circuit, this audio amplifier, on an external power supply. At least good for 1 amp for sure. This Macronta power supply is 1 amp, and that's what I'm running this one on. So anyways, so that's what I got it running on. That's what the alligator clips are here. It's just voltage from the power supply feeding the amplifier. Alright, so we've got the audio amplifier here hooked directly up to this here receiver. I'm not using the 2N309 or 3904 preamp at all. It's just audio directly from this to that, to the speaker. And the jumper leads, again, just powers up the amplifier. So, let's turn her up. That distortion you hear there is not with this. It's actually with that. FT8 digital. Rod. I'm planning on building this circuit, this amplifier, in this radio as well. I've already got the transistor here mounted. Just got to build the rest of the circuitry. But yeah, that there is actually a pretty good circuit. And if you're looking for a little high power, 3, 4 watt, 5 watt 8 ohm amplifier, give this circuit a try. Try it. You might like it.